cooking with delicious bird berries today. Orange bird berries is what my grandma would call these. These are Rowanberries, and they're a traditional food. And they are really interesting because they're crazy bitter and well, more strongly astringent. But they're also a traditional food. And once you get past that really strong flavor, they also have notes of citrus and orange peel, and they're very cool. First thing we have to talk about is, are rowan berries poisonous? And no, they're not. They just need to be cooked. So many plants, these are related to the plants in the rose family, like almonds, apples, and stone fruit. If you've ever smelled a stone fruit pit or eaten an apple seed, it may taste like almond. That scent is used to make almond extract, and it also is a cyanogenic glycoside, which is a quick way of saying that it contains cyanide. Yes, it technically contains cyanide, but cooking makes them safe. Okay, so that's really all you need to know. These are edible. Now, some people from Norway sent me a video about eating rowan buds the other year, and yes, the buds do taste like almond. Same thing with cherry trees, but I think these are a novelty because if they get cooked at all, they lose the almond flavor, so you'd have to eat a lot of them to have almond flavor in a dish, and they'd have to be raw, so we're not denaturing the glycosides there, so that's a problem. Don't do that. Okay, harvesting. You can see these fruit. This is about late September, October. The fruit will just be in massive quantity on these trees. I'm up by Duluth here in northern Minnesota, and sorry about the shaky cam. I'm just an amateur at shooting video. But there's tons of fruit on these trees. But the problem can be, finding some that you can actually harvest. So what you can do, kind of option one, the easy option is to just find a tree that has low-hanging fruit and then go up to the tree and pick the fruit off. And this is the easiest way. You don't need a lot of fruit. One thing that is important to mention, I don't think I have it pictured there, but I always use a blicky here. So the blicky makes it so that you can harvest fruit with two hands, and it will quite literally double your harvesting speed. Okay, so use a blicky, or in a pinch, I'll use a coffee cup in my belt, like whatever you have to do so you can harvest with two hands. Now, you can see here, if they're a little bit harder to reach, it's totally fine to kind of bend the branches down and make it easier for you to get the fruit. Whatever way you can get the fruit off of the tree is going to be fine. You can pick just the berries, you can pick whole clusters. I usually find it's easier to pick whole clusters and pick the fruit off later. Sometimes you can get lucky. So right here, there is conveniently a picnic table located under a nice little rowan tree, and I can just jump on top of the picnic table and I can pick my fill of the fruit. And here I'm just picking off whole clusters and putting them right into my blicky. Now, ideally, what you should do is you want to harvest with a fruit hook. So I have a good hack here. You don't have to go buy some expensive fruit hook because you're probably going to lose them anyway. Take a coat hanger and unravel it, and you can use this for so many different fruit. It's such a good little trick. Take the coat hanger, unraveled, and use the hook part to bring the branches down closer to you. So you're only going to be able to harvest with one hand using this, but for some of those branches that are just chock full of fruit, it's not really going to matter. Now, another thing we'll talk about here is there are a couple different varieties of rowan berries. Sorbus americana is my local species, but there's also Sorbus acciparia, which is on the bottom right there, which is more red, and the larger orange ones are going to be Sorbus americana, but these trees are going to be confusing to get to species sometimes because they're going to hybridize. So generally speaking, I always look for the big, giant orange fruit, but whatever rowan berries you get, they're all going to be interchangeable in the kitchen. They're all going to be very astringent. So just know that. But I prefer the large orange ones, but they can hybridize. You can see some that are kind of varied. Now, cooking, one of the coolest things you can do is make just a simple schnapps. It's an Eastern European thing. Very good. It doesn't get astringent. You just get the kind of grapefruit aroma. Jelly is probably the most famous recipe that these fruit are used to make. And traditionally you're just going to take a spoonful of it and let it melt on your venison roast, just like mint jelly with lamb. I've used the jelly in cooking, like this kind of Rowan Cumberland sauce that I did for the lamb and goat website that I've worked with before. Another thing that's really cool, a really good thing to make if you're just starting out, is homemade vinegar. So the vinegar doesn't take on any of the astringency, just kind of the floral fruity aromas. Use it for drinks, shrubs, all kinds of stuff. I hope you enjoyed learning a little bit about Rowanberries, the orange bird berry you can eat. There's more info in the post linked at the top of the video description on my website. Thanks for watching.